We've done a couple classes together, so I did recognize a few faces as you came popping in this evening. I'm with Forage to Fromage. It's a business that my husband and I opened up June 12th. It'll be a year. And we do largely consulting and classes like this. And of course, right now, that's pretty hard to do in person. But this seems to be working out real nice. Everybody has a kit in front of them and they can enjoy it at home on a Friday evening or outside. It's a beautiful evening out there. So I have a website, foragetofromage.com. Let's see. That has some classes posted on it. I have a class coming up tomorrow called Patio Pounders. I've been a cheesemonger for probably 8 years, working at Coburn's here in Elk River, and I haven't been to work in a month and a half. So, I don't know what my island's going to look like when I get back there, but yeah, this is a little more fun for me anyway, because we get to have a little something. I do have the recommended libation. I got the Lawrence libations in your little packet from Pour Wine Bar and Bistro. I have the sparkling wine. It's a Chardonnay Pinot Noir blend, sparkling wine from Russian River. And I have a board in front of me that I've laid out the cheeses and kind of what I thought worked with them. And I cannot believe, Terry, this is amazing how many things came in this packet.
Yes.
You were busy.
Yes.
But I guess anything else you needed? This is national, starting today. Happy May Day, by the way, everyone. Starting today, it's National American Cheese Month. And you can take that in a number of ways. Don't go out and get Kraft, please. No American cheese slices wrapped in little plastic things, although that's kind of what we're eating. But today we're spotlighting Redhead Creamery. It's in Bruton, Minnesota. The cheesemaker is one of 4 daughters that are all redheads in the family. And they are rocking it. They have routes. They're delivering all over the Twin Cities, down to Rochester, down up to Fargo. Personally, they're driving around their personal vehicles and dropping off cheese. And I met Lisa's husband, Lucas, in the Kohl's parking lot in Rogers. And not only on their website do they have cheeses that they are bringing to you, they also have apple crisp, apple pie, mac and cheese, books. They're selling books as well as all sorts of other fun things. But
Terry, in normal times, do they do tours of their creamery?
Yes, they do. They in June is one of the most fun ones, is Curd Fest. And so they have their cheese curds, and they have bands, and they have food trucks, and they partner with Milk and Honey Ciders in St. Joe, and they come out. But yeah, they tour the barns as well as all the other facilities housing the cows. They milk, I think, about 300 Holstein and Brown Swiss. And their barn is immaculate. It's beautiful. It's a Farmstead Creamery, which means that the milk goes directly from the barn underground and into the creamery building where they make the cheese. It gets pasteurized there, so it goes literally directly into cheese. They do some fluid milk sales to other creameries like Bongards, I think. They also send some of their milk to them. But it's a farm run and started by her parents. When she was 16, she announced she wanted to make cheese and decided to develop her own schooling at the University of Minnesota, and then went to Vermont to learn to make cheese, and came back, and in 2014 on Halloween was their first wheel of cheddar that went into the aging rooms. So that they're relatively young, but man, they're really doing some amazing styles of cheese. And it's a fun place to go visit. They have a bistro. You can get fried cheese curds, you can get paninis, as well as beer, wine, cider, and buy cheeses, their cheeses is up, and other local cheeses too, like Caves of Faribault, Shepherd's Way. So it's a fun road trip. Pick up some Milk and Honey ciders in St. Joe along the way.
Right, cool. Well, do you want to start out with the video?
Sure, we could do that.
Let's start that, so that introduces them where we're getting the cheeses from.
Yeah, it'll take a second here to get to that, and you'll see
Okay.
that we're going to turn up the computer microphone really loud, and then get to Elisa's video. And by the way, she just had her third baby.
Wow. Just recently?
So hopefully y'all can hear this.
We are a farmstead cheese company, which means that we use milk from our cows right here on our farm only for the cheese that we're making here. Another unique thing about our cheeses is that I have been able to develop the recipes because I have full control of the beginning to the end, from seeds to cheese. The unique thing about that is that I get to see the milk coming right from our cows. So that milk may look a little more golden or a little more white, depending on the time of the year and what they're eating that time of year. So it's really fun as a cheesemaker to be able to see firsthand how our cows are influencing our milk, which then influences our cheese in the end. It's also fun that I get to kind of tweak our recipes depending on that time of year.
We're having a little technical difficulty. Sorry.
Just a second.
It's the first we tried to share video, so we'll try this again here.
Okay.
Sorry.
We are a farmstead cheese company, which means that we use milk from our cows right here on our farm only for the cheese that we're making here. Another unique thing about our cheeses is that I have been able to develop the recipes because I have full control of the beginning to the end, from seeds to cheese. The unique thing about that is that I get to see the milk coming right from our cows. So that milk may look a little more golden or a little more white, depending on the time of the year and what they're eating that time of year. So it's really fun as a cheesemaker to be able to see firsthand how our cows are influencing our milk, which then influences our cheese in the end. It's also fun that I get to kind of tweak our recipes depending on that time of year and the components in our milk. Wintertime tends to have higher fat and protein components, which means we'll have a creamier milk and in turn a creamier, meatier cheese.
There you go.
There we go. A little introduction to Elise and their operation.
Yes. So let's start out talking about charcuterie boards. What are your main elements you're looking for when you're putting together a charcuterie board?
Well, first, I don't call it a charcuterie board.
Okay, what do you call it?
Cheese and charcuterie, because charcuterie only refers to the meat.
Okay.
And also an establishment that sells such cured meat.
Okay, great.
So I do cheese and charcuterie. Basically, you know what? These days I open up the pantry and I see a lot of love that olive stuff in my pantry. And sometimes when you don't have like exactly everything that you need, everything that you want to have, you come up with some really surprising combinations. But the basics for a cheese and charcuterie is I start with the board. And utensils, the knives. This is a Brie knife, soft cheese knife. Otherwise, knives can range anything from a paring knife to a spoon, depending on what you're serving. Some sort of starches, crackers, baguette, potato chips, popcorn, caramel corn actually goes really well with cheddar cheese. And the meat, the charcuterie, so hard salami, prosciutto. I didn't have any of that on hand at my last class, but I had some smoked salmon in the freezer, put that on there. I had some deviled eggs left over from Easter, put that on there. Fruit, something sweet, dried fruits like apricots, dates are phenomenal. Fresh fruit, obviously. Not a huge fan of grapes. They tend to be a little too tannic to go with cheeses, but like apples and pears, they're delicious. Honey. And other sweet jams and accompaniments. Your balsamic vinegars are phenomenal, drizzled over top, or you can even put a little bowl on your cheese and charcuterie board for folks to dip their cheese in. I think chocolate's always a fun idea.
It's always good.
Chocolate and cheese, that's a thing, definitely.
And the other thing is you don't always just need a wood board. There's so many different things you can build it onto.
Right, yeah. I've used cast iron pans. I've used, you know, tops of wine barrels. I used a wooden sled, a radio flyer.
Yeah.
You can stage a whole bunch of different, and then at some point they start going from a cheese and charcuterie board to a grazing table because you can't stop yourself.
Yes.
I can't.
I've done that before.
And of course, the best place to go for all of these goodies is Love That Olive for all the accompaniments and the vinegars and the olive oils. A little drip of olive oil, whatever flavor in a fresh chev, just smooths it out and seasons it beautifully so that it makes it a completely different cheese, the fresh goat cheese, with a little bit of the extra virgin olive oil and some drizzle of balsamic vinegar.
So yummy. Now, what is the first cheese you'd like to start tonight talking about out of theirs?
Usually I start with the mildest because your memory is going to hold on to your last cheese quite a bit. So we're going to start with Little Lucy. And Little Lucy, you know, got it in your cups here, is actually named after her daughter. This is a full wheel here, and you can see it's kind of, it's got some depth to it. It's really interesting that way. Very small format, and it's, you know, I like it because it's not a lot of commitment. It's not a huge cost at the register, and for something that is interesting to check out, because cheese is expensive. I think it's really cute that she puts a born on date on them.
You like that?
4/2/20, so April 2nd. And I'm gonna pop this one open. I had some in the fridge. I'm gonna do this at my patio pounder class tomorrow. I grill Little Lucy.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
Little Lucy has a fairly tough rind, and it can stand up to being heated. And this one,
how do you decide whether you can eat it or not eat it?
the rind itself,
Yes.
if you don't like the taste, don't eat it.
Okay. Simple as that.
If it doesn't bother you, go ahead and eat it. Sometimes this tends to be a little bit bitter. And being a Farmstead artisan cheese and the quality, where the milk is at, makes such a huge difference on the cheese itself. So I've gotten these where they are completely mushy and runny. They're very aged. It's a good thing. It just was higher in protein. The milk was higher in protein. And this one is very, very firm. So this one can really tolerate some heat.
I love the size of this one because I feel like it's manageable for us.
It is, right? Yeah, it's completely doable. I'm going to cut it.
This is the sauce we're talking that we're thinking you can use anything you'd like tonight on things if you have a kit, but we're talking about the garlic balsamic and herb jam is the one we thought would go really well with this brie. This is something even, Carrie, I don't know if you do, but I sometimes even do burgers with the brie and then this sauce right on top with it, something like that.
That's the next jump is, you know, this makes a great cheese and charcuterie board, but how can we translate it into something you do every day?
Yeah.
And burgers is a great format, or even like a ham and brie on a baguette sandwich with the garlic or herb jam.
Nice.
That would be delicious.
And a few for apples with that.
Apples would be fantastic. It's a unique sandwich to bring where you're going.
What are some other ways to use the brie besides just putting it on a round?
Oh, you can use it if you have little nubs left, and we always have those little bits left in the back of the fridge. Throw it in your scrambled eggs. Mine never makes it that far. It gets gobbled up pretty good. You can melt a brie and put it on potatoes, some roasted potatoes. You can add it to your fondue recipe because brie does melt very well. If you're going to do that, but otherwise, no, I like to grill it. Tomorrow I'm going to grill it on a cedar plank. So I don't know if you've ever grilled a brie on a cedar plank, but that's
no. How do you know when it's done, or how long do you grill it for?
I poke it.
Okay.
The ripeness of a brie is an awful lot like a ripeness is what they qualify for the age of the brie. The ripeness of a brie is very much like testing a steak for doneness. When it's very when it's like this and it's not even denting at all. It's at its youngest. Stage 1 of ripeness. If you can push a little dent in and it springs back, stage 2. If you can push it in and it doesn't come back, you're on stage 3. And if it's super ammoniated at that point, it smells like a cat litter box badly and it's not going away, your brie is too old.
Okay.
But this one is quite young, and it's I get mustiness off of it, but no ammonia. So you got mushroominess kind of coming off the smell. If it smells an awful lot like you're licking grandma's basement floor, it's not my favorite rind. But yeah, just like testing a steak for doneness on the grill, same thing when you're warming up a brie, because you can always add more heat. You can't take it away if you've blown that brie up and it's running all over the place.
This brie to me is always a lighter texture to it too. It's
Yep.
very, it's not really firm. It's kind of airy.
It is. Well, it's a single cream brie.
Okay.
There's 3 different bries, a single, double, and triple cream, and it comes down to what kind of fat content went into the making of the brie. So
Okay.
triple cream is going to be really runny, and it's over 75% butter fat. This one is their 4% milk that just goes right from the vat right into cheese making. So they don't add any additional cream to it. So that's why you get a little lighter texture on it.
Okay. And what's the number 2?
Number 2 is about 60 to 75% butter fat in dry matter. And brie is almost 50% moisture.
Okay.
Oh.
And how do you tell in a package which one it is?
It should say. If
Okay.
it doesn't say anything, you're going to assume it's a single or double.
Okay.
It'll say triple cream if it's a triple cream.
Okay. Any questions about brie out there? It's a little delay on that too to get questions.
I see one up there. Who else is considering this a date night? I think that's fun.
We had a lot of people that were doing date night tonight.
How did you like it with the garlic, balsamic, and herb jam, Terry?
I love it with that. I think it's great. I think that you brings out that the garlic's nice, but in the backside has those little bit of herbs, and it
Yeah.
just melts with that cheese.
And I thought the sweetness is what the cheese likes, and there was enough there, you know, enough sweetness in that jam.
What temperature and vessel should you bake brie in?
Okay, we have a question. What temperature and what vessel should you bake brie in?
Well, it kind of depends on the brie format that you have. If you have a wedge, so it's cut like this. So you have an edge that is just plain cheese. There's no rind to it. Then that's going to be harder to bake. Sometimes what I do is I warm up a plate in the oven and then put the brie on it just to bring it up to room temperature. And all your cheeses should be at room temperature. Bring them out an hour before you're going to serve them. But just put it on the warm plate. And because like I said, you can always add more heat, but you can't take it away. Once you've melted that, it's gone. Otherwise, a vessel, and usually a stone crock of some sort. If it's a full wheel, you know, it's completely ringed by rind. I'm going to ignore the cut here. And you can find a vessel that approximates the size of it. You know, this one would be in a very small ramekin, maybe. The brie bakers that you find, that Terry has a bunch in her store, those are designed for an 8-ounce wheel of typically what you'll find in the store is President. So that's usually stoneware, just holds a nice warmth to it without getting super hot or cooling off real fast. So you can keep it at a good temperature for baking. And temperature in the oven depends on how quickly you want it. If you have company coming at 6 o'clock, don't put it in there at 5 o'clock at 350. You know, put it like even just on warm or something if you need the time to get everything else ready. Otherwise, 350 for start with 5 minutes. Go to 10 if you need a little bit more time, but like I said, poke it. You'll be able to feel it softening up significantly on the inside. If it's not doing anything, give it a little more time. But don't overdo it.
After you've cooked it, And if you're just slowly eating it and it starts to harden a little bit more, can you put it back in the oven?
Yep, or microwave it for a couple seconds.
Great.
Yep, definitely.
Well, what's our second one we're going to talk about tonight?
The second one is Saint Anthony.
Okay.
And Saint Anthony, they named all their cheeses after the women in their family except for Saint Anthony. Saint Anthony is the saint of lost things, I believe.
Of lost things?
Yes, and Saint Anthony was a wheel of, it was starting out as a wheel of Lucky Linda. Linda is Elisa's mother, as of cheddar. And she said that something went wrong in the make. That's what they call it when they're making a wheel of cheese. They call it the make room or the make of the cheese. She wasn't real specific as to what happened, but they wrapped it up and stored it away. And lo and behold, they wound up with this washed rind cheese. Washed refers to just how they treat the rind of it. They wash it usually with a brine solution to create a natural rind on the outside. And it's turned out much more like an Alpine style cheese, like our raclette, Gruyere, those kinds of cheeses. And it actually won second this last year at the American Cheese Society Awards, second in its category of American Originals.
Wow, that's great.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
We are suggesting the onion balsamic jam with that.
No, the warm spiced apple.
Oh, you're right. I grabbed the wrong one. Try it again. Warm spiced apple, yes.
They all look alike. No, I'm just kidding.
They do. Now, this is a really great jam. Some people always think of it because it's apple to go with fall with it, but it is definitely not one that I use for fall. I use a lot of it on top of my salmon and shrimp, and you can add it just on a sandwich with turkey. And I use a lot of Gruyere and things, so that would work really well with something like that, doing a panini or a croissant sandwich with that.
Oh, yeah. Or even a flatbread, like a breakfast flatbread. Put it on your English muffin in the morning.
Yes.
Little cheese.
That would be really good. I love cheese in the morning. Very European.
Cheese any time of day. Come on now.
Hard. Would St. Anthony be considered a hard cheese?
Semi-hard. Yep.
Semi-hard?
Yep. And this one is pretty nice and sliceable.
Yes, Paige said it is.
That one was one of the easiest.
Yeah, Paige liked this one to slice, huh?
Paige sliced the cheeses last night. She told me to tell everyone, I apologize if they aren't as pretty as Carrie would do them.
Mostly the margin.
I like our boxes. This is awesome. How wonderful is this?
That's right.
I think it's fantastic. One of the things that Redhead is selling also is these are brand new, these charcuterie sticks. So they took sticks of cheese, of their cheeses, and this one's wrapped in prosciutto.
Ooh.
This is also a really fun way to do your cheese and charcuterie board. I'm going to take a slice of the St. Anthony and tear down a little bit of this hard salami. So you can see, makes for a fun appetizer. It's definitely a grab, you know, with your fingers and off you go. And you got your glass of wine in the other hand. Makes for a real cute presentation on your cheese and charcuterie board.
They should be doing that at the state fair.
Why aren't they?
Cheese and prosciutto on a stick.
On a stick. Well, it's got to be deep fat fried. Hey, that's a good idea. I did see someone making raclette sticks, so they're batter frying Alpine melty cheese.
Yes.
Yes, that's got to be amazing.
They're leading up to that.
Yeah.
So tell us more what you would do with this cheese.
This one is just I think this is a perfect snackable cheese. It's quite mild. It doesn't really carry a lot of flavor along with it when you're going to be cooking, but if you have some nubs of it left, it's going to melt really well, so you can throw it in your mac and cheese, your mashed potatoes.
So it melts nicely.
It melts nicely, yeah.
I would love it in the mac and cheese, but in mashed potatoes would be fantastic with the garlic olive oil.
Yeah, oh, that'd be delicious. Yes, definitely. We're always looking for goodies to put in mac and cheese, and a lot of pungent or stronger cheeses like your aged cheddars and stuff will separate. They'll go
Yes.
into oil and and then solids also. This one should melt in pretty well.
Okay.
Or
Got it.
even a bechamel.
As we're going through, everybody has a little jar of our new Greek seasoned balsamic.
That's delicious.
Yes. So you're welcome to try that on any of these cheeses as we go through. This is our newest one from Greece. Our Greek producers take and season this balsamic from Italy. It's absolutely incredible. It is seasoned with a lemon, oregano, and chives. So it's kind of savory with that fruitiness. Almost every day, my husband and I, Ron, have a salad with the Greek seasoned balsamic and our new Koroniki Greek olive oil. It's absolutely fantastic, but I love taking that and putting it on cheeses. It works really well. So be sure to try that with some of the favorite ones and try the different ones in the mix here.
Right, and balancing flavors is, that's why I put this St. Anthony with the warm apple, spiced apple jam, because it didn't overpower the cheese and the cheese didn't overpower the jam.
Yeah.
So it's some of the balsamic vinegars, that's why quite often Parmigiano Reggiano is served with balsamic vinegar, because the saltiness is balanced by the sweetness and the body of the balsamic vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
So as you get to the saltier cheeses, the stronger cheeses, you're going to, they'll love balsamic vinegar even more.
I love that. Okay, any questions about that cheese?
Oh, the Brie is awesome with the balsamic jam, someone just said.
Yes, isn't it?
There's not a question, but there's a funny comment.
Okay, well, let's hear the funny comment. Go ahead.
It's not a question, I just think it's funny. Somebody said, date night here too, but husband went to find more meat in the kitchen. I think he mistakes this for a meal.
No, it's not a meal.
Funny because Jackie sent me a picture. This is dinner of her cheese.
Oh my gosh. Here, can you show them that? My daughter and her husband are on here from New York, and we sent them a box of cheeses from there. She just sent us a picture of dinner, see? They got the full thing going on there. Okay, and these meats are great. I like to just take a piece of the cheese and wrap the meat around it and dip it in the balsamic. That's what I do for lunch a lot at work. It's a really good little snack. So what's our next cheese?
Our next one is Margie, and this is a cave-aged cloth-bound cheddar. The cloth is a very traditional, old-school method of aging cheeses. Margie's in the background there. See, there's Margie.
Hey, Margie. Okay.
And it's designed to age the cheese without losing moisture. So you wind up with a broken hard rock. So the cloth binding, it doesn't come to you unless you order a full wheel. The cloth will be taken off before it's cut into pieces and wrapped up for you. But it is a really interesting thing. I order Lucky Linda into my shop, and getting that cloth off is tough work.
Okay.
And the look of the cloth and the look of the surface of the cheese is almost exactly the same. You get a lot of modeling, a lot of age, a lot of interesting edges to it. Margie, I like the age of it. I think it still has a real nice creaminess to it. It has the strength of a little bit more of a tang of an aged cheddar. I believe this is a 2-year aged cheddar.
Aged cheddar, and it is a cheddar.
Yep.
We're doing the onion balsamic jam with this one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep. Now, would you consider this one a hard cheese? Because this is the one we had a hard time
You had a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Paige is not going to take any other answer other than yes, it's a hard cheese.
Hard.
Someone asked if Redhead ships, and they do.
They do.
I just shipped to New York, so I know they do.
They ship, and like I said, they also have, if you go on their website or on their Facebook page, they will list delivery sites around the Twin Cities and around the state, and they'll be at that location at the time that is listed. So you can skip the they add, I think, $5 to do that service. Shipping can be a little bit more, but the way that they ship to, I've ordered a lot of cheese, to be delivered to my home online. They really bundle those babies up. So even in warm months, you'll get them in good condition because there's a lot of ice packs in there and there's a lot of insulation, definitely.
When you say cave aged, does that actually mean it's aged in a cave or cave-like conditions?
For them, it's a cave-like condition. They have, it's not a natural cave. Caves of Faribault, those are natural caves. This one it's a cave-like condition and held at the right temperature and humidity to age the cheese properly. They have, I think, 3 of them down.
More moisture in that?
Yep, they have a little bit higher humidity than the regular, and then, you know, wintertime humidities. It's just they held at the ideal conditions. The only thing that was interesting that was happening, they also make a whiskey washed Munster called North Fork, and they were aging it in with other cheeses that were sporting a little bit of blue mold in the cave. And so the blue mold bopped over and hung on to the whiskey wash Munster and made it really weird. So, so they went ahead and got another cave going for their whiskey wash Munster. So that's not happening anymore. But that's just the volatility of farmstead and artisan cheeses. It's you're never going to have the same milk that goes into it. The conditions can change. And it's a real delicate balance. And trust me, those cheesemakers are working on basically no margin right now.
Yes.
And for them to be offering, I got some cheese shipped here from Illinois that was free shipping for a perishable product, and they're soft ripened cheese. So they're very, very soft. That means that they're struggling. They're really struggling. The aged cheeses they can hang on to for a little while through all of this, but the soft ripened, like the little Lucy Brie and other types of bloomy rinded cheeses and like that Munster that are short age on them, and they're very delicate and they age very quickly once you get them home. So those are hard to ship right now.
Now, does Margie melt like other ones, or is it more just that?
Right, not as much. This one's going to be a little bit closer to how you would utilize a Parmigiano Reggiano.
Okay. So
It doesn't melt into, pardon me?
It would work really well to shave it on a salad.
Yep. Shave it on a salad, get your vegetable peeler out and just do it that way, or as a ending to a little sprinky dink on a flatbread.
I love the onion balsamic on that, and I could see even that shaved on top of bruschetta with that.
Yep. Or it's another good combination for a burger too.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't melt super duper good, but it would be really good flavor with the burger and the onion balsamic. Yeah.
Great.
A little bacon.
How's everyone doing with that one?
Margie.
Yes, that's the Margie.
So we got that answered.
That was delicious. The Margie paired with the onion balsamic. Absolutely
I
delicious.
like that one.
Good. You like that? Good.
Oh, someone has had the Munster, the whiskey, the North Fork.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Yum. We're hearing yum and delicious. That's good. I think that one's really good too with the Greek balsamic. It gives some real depth, and I like the lemon that adds to that.
Yeah, very true. I think that's a really good salad we got going on with those combinations. I think that's fun.
And you know, that one, if you take a little of that piece with some of your cran raisins that we have there, and we have I always say the name of the almonds wrong.
Marcona.
Yes, which are my favorite. You know, that kind of has that rosemary sea salt on it. Those are nice with that.
I love Marcona almonds. And I get, you know, when sometimes I do a salad with a hot dressing, and I usually start it out with caramelizing some onions and adding balsamic vinegar at the end. And then I put it over top of my greens, and usually with a fresh goat cheese because I like the meltiness. But I think starting with this onion balsamic jam, heating it up and maybe adding a little bit more balsamic, and with the Margie on top of some spring greens, I think that'd be delicious.
Oh, that just sounds so wonderful right now. Oh, that would be very good. You know, the other thing is there's some chocolate bark in the containers too, the real thin chocolate. That is excellent with cheese.
Yep.
The combination works really well with different things. So try these different pairings as we go along. Okay, what's the next one?
Is our garlic cheddar.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell everyone this is one of my very favorites.
It's really good. And it's not over the top garlic, but it's a excellent melter, so it's perfect for burgers. In fact, I believe Redhead actually slices them and sells it as slices.
And when you open this, you can just smell the garlic.
And I didn't even taste them together, but I'm sorry, garlic, cheddar, and bacon. That's
Yeah. Yes. Now this is our uncured bacon jam.
if it doesn't work, I apologize, but come on.
Oh, no. And this is made with all real bacon. It's absolutely fantastic on burgers and on meatloaf. You can put it on top of a pork chop and then melt cheese right with it and things. It's great mixing with your olive oil for a salad dressing. So this goes with that really well.
Oh, it really does. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we keep coming back to burgers, but that one is, you could do a Juicy Lucy with that in the middle and have the uncured bacon on the bread. You know, grill the bun first.
I think a grilled cheese would be great with this one.
Yeah.
Yep, and then just a little bit of ham.
Yes, that would be delicious.
Great.
Crossing the line between grilled cheese and panini, but whatever. As long as it's got cheese, I'm good.
Exactly. We know that. That's fantastic. So, how's everyone liking that one?
My goodness, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Saute spring greens with garlic on top of
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have, go ahead, Paige, tell them what that was.
Saute spring greens with garlic, EVOO, and top with the Margie cheese.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be delicious.
that'd be great.
We also
I'm glad I ate a little before we started this.
get excellent with that melt in a fondue.
They'd like to know if this one would melt in a fondue.
I think it would. It might be the blended with other cheeses, Gruyere, Emmentaler, all of those. But yeah, it might be the one that wants to separate. But as long as it's in there with, some of the other really melty cheeses, I think it would do okay.
Does Fontina work with that?
Excellent. Yes, Fontina works in a fondue. We did a fondue at Christmas time. All the little ends and pieces, I just kept throwing them in. We had so many cheese parties last year. All the little ends and pieces that I had, I kept throwing them into the freezer, and I looked up how to make a fondue with all sorts of different cheeses, and the agent that goes into it was sodium citrate, and it's a granular substance. Ordered it on Amazon, and the sodium citrate comes with instructions on per volume how much you add to how many pounds of cheese and how much volume of liquid. And the sodium citrate keeps all of those cheeses in suspension. So we had the most amazing fondue.
And cheese does freeze.
When you cook it afterwards.
Okay,
I would not, no, don't freeze it and then decide to pull it out later and eat it fresh. No.
okay.
For cooking purposes, it's fine. Yep.
Thanks. Any others for us?
French onion grilled cheese, that would be perfect. That would be really good.
Yeah.
I just said that.
The French onion grilled cheese on the night, and it would be so much better and flavorful with this jam.
Oh, yeah. French onion. Oh, very good. Thanks, Jackie, for the hint. She's going to call the restaurant and suggest using this with it.
Carrie, what size do these jams come in at your store, and do you refrigerate after?
The jams, they all come in the same, only one size, and they are how many ounces, Paige?
10.5?
They're 10.5 ounces, and right around there.
They range.
They range a little bit, but right around there in ounces. And yes, you do refrigerate them after you open them. And a lot of them I take out and just take 1 or 2 tablespoons out and put in a little dish. And if I want to soften it quickly, I just microwave for 10 seconds, and that just makes it saucy enough to throw it over different things. So that works, so it's really fun. I'm loving this garlic.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right there with me.
Almost all of mine.
Okay, mystery cheese. Anybody have an idea what this is, our mystery cheese? Open it up, taste it, and then give us some suggestions of what it is.
So this is the mystery cheese.
Yes. What are we telling them to pair it with? Which one?
I have it with the chocolate bark and the honey sticks because it's actually a cheddar. It's called cotton candy, and not because of its flavor, but because of its color. What possessed them to put blue in, I don't know. Elisa's suggestion is it's a good thing for a gender reveal party.
Oh, yes. Now, I'm going to get the honey real quick. Oh, it's over there, the little jar. The honey sticks you have tonight, there's 2 honey sticks, and you could use this with it very easily. One, the light colored one, is Acacia Honey. Acacia Honey is my very favorite honey. For those that took the honey class this week, they will know. It took me 5 years to get this into the store. It is from Italy or Hungary. This happens to be from Hungary, and it's from the acacia trees. It's very floral, light, soft, silky. It is very low in glycemic, or I said that wrong, glycemic index. So it does not spike for someone who has diabetes, which is really nice. It goes great with cheeses. I also have a lot of this at work daily with my cheeses and my smoked salmon. It's excellent. The darker one is our bourbon honey, which is excellent also. And that would go really nice with the garlic cheddar cheese in there. Another new one that we have in the store is a sea salt honey. We don't have that as part of this, but the saltiness with the cheeses is fantastic also.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wasn't sure because I hadn't had the cotton candy before where it was going to be. It's similar to like, what's that?
You cut out that last part.
Okay. I think it's more of their medium aged cheddar. And honey is always a good bet to go with cheese. It is always a good bet. And usually they play off each other extremely well. You got sweet and salt. And this one is showing the different honeys pretty well, I think. So you can taste the honey differences.
Yes. And I love the bourbon one. That is also a favorite of mine. It really gives a little more in-depth flavor to things. So it works with quite a few.
Okay.
There's supposed to be honey in the back.
Uh-oh, someone didn't get their honey. They got really busy this afternoon and must have forgot to put the 2 sticks in. So next time you're in my store, ask for it and I'll give you the 2 sticks for your honey. I apologize. Sherry told me she thought she missed one today. On there.
This one would be interesting to cook with.
Yes.
Wouldn't that just totally throw someone if they saw a shaving of blue cheese on their salad?
Yes.
That'd be kind of fun.
White and blue.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, 4th of July, we could come up with something interesting with this, huh? Little tomato, little pearl mozzarella, and a little chunk of blue colored cheese.
Exactly. That would be really fun on there. You would wonder if you put it on a board, how many people would not go and cut it at first because they wouldn't know what it was.
Right, yeah. So, well, not our friends because they're a whole bunch of adventurous foodies, but maybe Mike's family wouldn't not know what to do with it.
It's from St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, we were told that we could top a mac and cheese for St. Patrick's Day with it.
There you go.
Yes.
And they do make they do a lot of cheese curds, and at St. Patrick's Day they make green cheese curds.
Okay.
So that's
It'd
fun.
be fun. I think kids would like this.
Yeah.
A blue cheese would be a nice snack for them to have.
Yeah, then they'd go through their life saying, yeah, I really love blue cheese.
Yes, I know. One type of blue cheese. So there's just so many different ways that you can pair cheeses with sauces and oils and vinegars, which is really fun. And I like to talk about different ways besides just sitting there with a cracker with it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really fun things you can find in your cupboard that match.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, you know, when we, tomorrow during my patio pounders class, I'm grilling 5 different dishes using cheese. And one of them, I'm doing the little Lucy on a cedar plank. And usually I do a cherry, I call them boozy cherries, with that as a topping. So I grill the cherries and add sugar, balsamic vinegar, and scotch. Well, cherries aren't in season. So I ordered strawberries, and I ordered frozen cherries, and I ordered raspberries. Backup, right?
Yes.
You know, in case, so nope, didn't get strawberries in my pickup. Didn't get the cherries in my pickup. I got the raspberries, so we're going to work with raspberries tomorrow. Might find something really interesting.
Gosh. Now, a lot of you who have made a purchase in the last few weeks, you might have gotten a free cherry balsamic sauce we have with a $50 purchase. You get that. That's really fun with a lot of these different things, and topping Bries and sandwiches with it.
That's one of my favorite. Cherries just really love cheese. They really do. In fact, quite often I put dried cherries on the board, especially goat cheeses. The cherry loves goat cheeses. And that cherry balsamic is phenomenal with any kind of Humboldt Fog from Cypress Grove, any of the aged goat cheeses as well as fresh.
Oh, that's great. Any more questions right now? Oopsie.
Nothing so far.
Nothing so far. Is everyone enjoying their kits and the different flavors? What was your favorite cheese so far?
Yeah, what was the favorite?
When do we get to do this again?
My favorite cheese was the Margie cheese
Like
with onion balsamic. That was so fantastic.
Love that. Okay. Go ahead and turn it on if you want to tell us things.
Mystery cheese with honey was really good.
Which honey did you do, the light or the darker?
The light one. Haven't tried the dark
I
one.
tried the bourbon. The
Right.
Acacia is amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's good with that sweetness to it.
It is. What was that?
Margie with onion.
Margie with onion. We have another one.
Somebody else, what was the mystery cheese?
What was the mystery cheese? It was cotton candy,
But it was cheddar.
and it's a cheddar.
Somebody said I love the light honey. What's it called again?
The light honey is called Acacia Honey, and we have it in 3 different sizes right now in the store. This is a new line that I brought in just as all this was happening, so a lot of people haven't seen it in our store, and it's absolutely my favorite. We've been selling a lot of it to people, and it's a great one for just at home or as a gift. It's wonderful.
Carrie, do you sell cheese in the store? You do not, right?
I do not at this point. Carrie and I keep talking about I need a refrigerator.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
It might be our next step. Because we go to these shows and oh my gosh, we find so many great cheeses and so many incredible meat and things.
And a lot of the artists in cheeses and cheese producers in the country are just, they're itching to get their product in front of you. So
yes,
the sources that we have, you don't have to go out of the country. Last year at Rogue River Blue, or their organic blue, it's wrapped in grape leaves that have been macerated in pear spirits. Won best cheese in the world. Over top of Parmigiano Reggiano. The Italians were not happy.
and that was from Oregon, right?
Yep, that's Oregon.
Yes, Carrie snuck us a taste of that when we were out at the fancy food show out in San Francisco in January, and it was to die for.
It was delicious.
The Greek seasoned balsamic, someone had a question about. That is a white balsamic that has lemon, oregano, and chives. We also did, someone else asked when they're going to do this again. Some of my ideas, and Carrie and I have been going back and forth, we might do one like a picnic pack, an easy one to take on a picnic. We, especially these days when you can maybe go to a park and just be alone, 2 of you on a date afternoon. We thought about doing an international cheese kit. We could also do a Wisconsin because there's a lot of really great Wisconsins. Especially there's one place that you told me about, and we had it at the show, the vanilla cheese. Oh my gosh, having that vanilla in that cheddar was unbelievably good.
That was delicious. That one was really good. And one of my favorites that pairs so well with just about anything is the Marieke Goudas. They're phenomenal. They melt wonderfully. They have the Dutch were traditionally traders, so they have a lot of unique spices in them too. So the Marieke, we could make a whole day of that, or 2 days of it.
Yes, we've talked about doing a cheese tour also when things get back to normal. We talked about this before, and then all this went crazy. But to go to a creamery and try it and things like that. So that might still have to be on our agenda when we can be together again.
Yeah, I have one that I've been working on. I'm just not sure how to get it out to folks. I call it Dashboard Cheese Board. So it's a information board with different locations and stories on the cheesemakers that are there and what they're doing. And just like we're doing tonight, telling their story and what cheeses they have, how they're getting them to you, and all sorts of, so basically taking a little road trip virtually.
That's great. That's very fun. A lot of people are doing those virtual trips right now on things. So Cheese World would be wonderful. Well, thank you, Carrie. This was great knowledge, and we will plan another one of these very soon. We're going to be working on that. Our next class coming up is our Greek class. And Carrie was lucky enough, you met one of our Greek producers, Diamantis. And he is going to come on, and maybe if we can talk his brother Dino too to come on, but May 7th will be our next class, and we're going to be learning about Greek olive oil. What's really incredible is our two producers just got a write-up in Forbes magazine as the up-and-coming olive oil producers of the world because of their Koroniki olive oil, which we have in stock right now. And I'm going to tell you, it is the silkiest of olive oils. It's amazing.
I don't do anything with it. I just eat it off a spoon.
Great. There is going to be a kit with that. We are going to announce that, and hopefully the email will come out tomorrow for that, so that you will, and we'll let you know about the kit. And there will also be a couple other classes in the works right now. Our Maruso soy sauce. The family, one of the girls is going to do a cooking class with us using the Maruso soy sauce. We have our tea company, a brand new tea company, which also launched since all this happened, so a lot of people haven't seen it. We will be doing a class about tea. I'm going to do also one about skincare coming up. When your hands are really dry, by the way, at this time, with washing them so much, every morning and night, take a little of our plain olive oil, an organic, a Fior, Primo, Kali, Greek, whatever you have. Rub a little in, just a dot, in the morning and night, and that keeps them all protected so they're not going to crack or get dry throughout the day. That's a really good hint for this. For those of you that need hand sanitizer, it's back in stock, so you can call the store tomorrow if you need hand sanitizer. It's from a local company, and we have teamed up with them, so hopefully we can get quite a bit as needed. We have been finding a big need for that with people. And
awesome.
What was that?
It is awesome. I picked it up yesterday, and you put it on, your hands are so smooth even with that.
Good.
Never had such a wonderful
good
hand sanitizer. I'm sorry to butt in, but I just had to let you know.
So we have that in stock too. And if you were able to watch Twin Cities Live today, there's two specials going on right now. One is a Mother's Day gift set, and it's 8 of our top selling olive oils in mini bottles with a free cherry balsamic sauce. The other one was our ingredient packet that was used to make the roasted lemon chicken, the lemon pound cake, and the garlic breadsticks. And both of them, and that comes with the free cherry balsamic sauce also. Both of those run $55. And so we have those available for you also. Well, we had such a great time tonight. Any other questions before we finish up? If anyone's welcome to turn on and ask us anything you'd like before we finish up. Also, if you have any ideas of classes that you would like us to do, email them to me at team@lovethatolive.com and just say I have an interest in this or an interest in that, and that'll give us some ideas of what people are looking for out there. Well, great. We are open every day, 10 to 6. You're welcome to come into the store still if you're comfortable. Otherwise, you can always call us and give us a curbside order, and we will be happy to run it out as soon as you come in. And we also are shipping. So hopefully we will see you soon. Everyone stay safe, And keep watching Facebook and our emails for the upcoming classes and some of the different things that we're going to be trying in the future. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you. Check out my website for future classes also.
Please.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.